The first 8 years of my life was very, very good. The other 18 years of my life was basically on the street, being homeless. And then 30 years or so in my life, my body didn't belong to me. It belonged to men and people that bought it and sold it. So basically, I'm not just a survivor of human trafficking. My name is Grizelda Grootboom, and I like to tell the testimony of my story and to bring hope. Dihlala eKhayelitsha, Site C. Being here is just another level for me. I ended up in Joburg to a friend. I had faith in that was gonna help me change my life. And she did like the quicker the better. And then took the train from Cape Town Station to Johannesburg. Landing here was supposed to change my life. Not knowing my life actually just went for worse. It went from being a homeless kid to being trafficked. I drove through Johannesburg. Everything looked so hopeful. I'm with the right friend, you know, she knows my life. She showed me to my room. I said I was gonna take a nap. And she said she'll be coming back, she's just gonna get me food. I think I dozed off. Door went open. And they walked in, and a kick in the stomach. And I went just like, through my pants. Don't stress, you know why we're here. Your face is face down, face down, face down. And somebody's just anal sexing you. Next one, and the next one, and the next one. I think the second day I asked why me, and a big smack and cocaine in my mouth and ecstasy and another injection. At night I think I literally try to fall like asleep while they just do what they do. But I think the men didn't like that, so they would just like put the cigarette on my back so I could just... I would try to really, really stay quiet and hear them talk when they leave. And this went on for days. The biggest betrayal shocked me when my friend did that to me. Even, you know, the most qualified professional or expert would tell you that.
Being an expert in human trafficking and having done my master's degree in it, I know for a fact that a lot of the victims were tricked into these circumstances. And if you think about that, that's something that often occurs within the trafficking environment. It's someone that you trust most.
That's also part of the education when we tell parents to look out for who their kids are talking to online, because traffickers know how to groom.
One pimp that I heard speaking one day said, we don't even have to give them drugs. They take it themselves because that's the only way in which they survive. We just keep them in the most amount of fear that you can ever think of. And it's all about money.
It was in the night, and they brought the younger girl in, and I got kicked out. I think I stood outside in the middle of the night screaming, oh, shit. I was so high, so much pain. And then took a walk all the way back to Buck Station, half naked. I would never go to the police. You must be joking. Jeez, I had to give some police guy a blowjob at some Cape Town police station, so me in a police, never. So, Buck Station was the new place. Got to Park Station. I knew that I had to get another dacha button paper, like I was craving for it. And back then, South Africa's Park Station was the highest truck stop of every truck driver. And I just saw girls going in and out of the trucks, and pimps were just waiting there. Went into the truck,
gave him what he wanted, got my money, gave the pimp the money, and then I got used to the industry.
I was welcomed on the streets of prostitution in Hillbrow. And this whole road, like, it was girls, just girls. You know, you would walk, you take your time. You cross the road, you take your time while you're walking because you want a guy to buy. And there was a pimp in every corner. And also just the clinic. Oh yeah, I would have liked to see the clinics where we used to go to like early hours in the morning, just ask for condoms. Literally, nurse would tell you, no, these condoms are not for makhosha ring. Aibo. Yeah, guys, no. A woman would tell you this and you're like, I can walk. So survival in the space of looking for government real productive health care was like looking for a pimp that would understand and not beat you up this week. You could get free drugs on this corner knowing that you are gonna get another pimp that can swap you to get a client. If anybody had to ask me, how do I feel about it now? I'm like, listen, the worst has happened to me at the youngest age on this corner, so I don't think there's any particular fear I would have. And after 20 years of being trafficked and pimped and prostituted around here, nothing would be new, nothing would be shocking at all.
And then eventually at the age of 26, 27, my pimp, you know, swapped me with another pimp. And she was from Port Elizabeth.
And they're like, Port Elizabeth is nicer, you know. Clients are nice, they're white, they're not gonna hurt you, you know, like, yeah, like, whatever. I became pregnant because I ended up in the brothel. It was exciting and I was happy because I thought they were gonna kick me out. And then going into my 6th month, the lady was like, listen, baby's gotta go. The doctor was there. And then they scraped out everything that was in my belly and asked to get back to work. And I said no. The bodyguard and the madam's husband beat me up, pulled me down the stairs in the car, dropped me in Hillbrow. And somebody called the ambulance. And I woke up in the hospital. And that was the beginning of survival. This is my
Grizelda speaking out about what happened to her is winning light years of ground for us in our country. Survivors will be the ones who tells us, this is what you have to be on the lookout for. This is the indicators. This is why these things happen to us. There wasn't anyone there for me. I was an orphan. How we need to approach this endemic.
I had a good child life. I enjoyed it. So you could say my grandmother's house was exactly there, where most of the Woodstock people would be. My grandfather, we used to hang out a lot. He was, run over by a bus. I think a year or two after that, then my grandmother followed. And then my dad just really, really started drinking on top of, I think the drinking caused him to lose his job. We moved around the streets and then, week after week, it started to just become like, I'm at this shelter, I was at this shelter, he came back, he would stay until I fall asleep, then he would leave. But in my head, you're like, I'm still gonna go home, and you don't. My mom wasn't a family person, like she got married. She made it clear several times that wasn't her child. My dad was my everything, because my dad made me feel like we are not on the streets. I remember starting to greet other kids. Saw other kids scratching in bins, walking 2, walking 3. Some would sit in a park and I started joining them. Nou as ek by die brug, waar ek groot geraak het met my pa. Nie meeste met my pa nie, maar met ander kinders. En ons het klein huisies gehad, het net soos dieselfde soos die. We had probably more boxes than plastics, and that was the lifestyle. And this is where we learned the gangsterism, a lot of the gangsterism. Tennis en glue, ons het altyd daar gehad. Om by die robots te staan vir ons was het like, checking out your cars to rip radios out of your cars, more of begging for money. It reminds me a lot van die meisie wat ek ontmoet het that trafficked me, because, you know, she would come to this place under the bridge with us and then smoke. We at the docks. Oh my goodness, like literally the docks. This feels like so full circle. So every day my dad would walk with me, come to this area, and this feels beautiful. That's all I can say. Like, this is where my dad is gonna find me. My pa, maar so crazy. And I had to sit. Nothing mattered in the world but just waiting for him with sea eagles. He did come back sometimes. And if he didn't come back, I had to walk back to the bridge or the shelter. I never felt like I've been left alone, though. My dad's brother came to get me once at the docks, and that's when he took me to my mom, to Kailicha.
When I knocked on my mom's door at the age of 8 at Kailicha Sightsee, the first thing that happened to me was rape culture. Boys that used to rape other babies are quite ifoli.
I felt very confident to be part of the family because I've just numbed myself against the abuse they've given me. I just got to accept the fact chores were mine. And then I went to go and fill my bucket, and then this group of guys, we didn't think like, oh, okay, somebody's preying on me. And they were like there by their 14, 15s, you know? 4 guys. And they're just taking turns, you know? They're just taking turns. The hele dag. It's still real. That's all I'm saying. It still feels real. And as you walk through the evening, you just like wonder, does anybody see or smell you? The 8-year-old me never had the chance to cry. Wow. And then I just walked into the house. Where are you from? And I'm like saying, it's these boys. What boys? Now you know boys. And then she started just beating and beating and beating. And then after that, I went to go and clean the pots. And then I just took a plastic bag and then I ran very, very fast to the station. Got to the bridge and looked for smoke and tennis, and then we started just, brain just went quiet. I think after 2 weeks, I went to Onsplek. So basically, this is where the shelter was. This life here. Whew. The advice I would give my younger self is like literally never give up and just keep on doing what you do, you know, like just fight. If you are in every opportunity of help that you get, take it. Now I was like in your 15, 16, you know, so. My dad was like back and forth. I could feel my whole crushed when I found out my dad passed away, yeah. And this is something I've never done also. This would be the first time I'm actually going to the place. My dad was found here, stabbed. He was the only guy that would literally make me feel okay after rape, you know? And people don't get it. People just... He made it feel like I'm gonna be okay, I'm gonna be safe.
A lot of these survivors have had traumatic childhoods. And if you look at Grizelda's background and her history, she had it tough. So the chances of her being vulnerable is massive, and it's understandable.
And where I am right now, you'll always be part of me. You'll always be part of me.
My name is Grizelda Grootboom. I was homeless on the Stand streets. I was trafficked, I was a prostitute.
I am not just a survivor of human trafficking, but also a testimony of hope.
And then I got pregnant with Summer, and then in-house abortion took place.
Today I still cry about Summer. Even today I still trying to forgive people. Even today I go through a lot of loneliness and depression because I lost a baby. So that was the opportunity for my age group to be going to Home of Hope, but the Home of Hope was not for older women. The only hope it gave me is just seeing other survivors survive better than me today.
And now we are finally going to the new Home of Hope. And I'm very excited. I haven't seen Mom Kanye in a very long time, although I've always spoken about her.
When I met Grizelda, she was one broken person. She was so angry, and the pain has numbed her body. Home of Hope taught me to love for no reason, because this person is a human being.
Mom Kanye. I need to get a hug. It's just a blessing to come back to women like yourself that was so straight with me.
You were not normal, sis, because of the drugs. If you're being trafficked, you lose your head, you lose your humanity. All what I needed was for you to bring back your mind instead of going back there.
You had this force of telling me they used you.
The gender-based violence is not getting any better. At least now we've got space for studying.
Yes.
As you know, that reading is something that I believe in, education.
That's where my writing came from.
Yeah.
You forced me to read.
Yes, that was...
And I would just go through the pages and pretend.
And when knitting, she'll cross, and then you hide your knitting until they told me. And I said, I'll spank you.
Don't expose everything.
Because it's not about the food, the nice bed, or the education.
It's about the exit.
It's about their humanity and their exit.
And the exit out of it.
Yes.
You know, I lost my mom, and seeing you today after so many years is giving me hope. He's in writing the second book. You know.
Thank you. We are family.
And of course, we went through those stages, and I served in one big church that was having like great big crusade. And eventually in the same conference, that's where I met a pastor. Now, you know, we grew up with the 26. So I took the pastor's opportunity to go and drop his drugs in Cape Town. And I'm like, Jesus, if you can help these people to use your grace, listen, I promise I can make another I swear, I'm gonna serve you. When I did get back here in Cape Town, it was like, oh wow. My mom was in her own desperation state, and I just gave her the money of those drugs. The journey of exiting out of the trauma of being sex trafficked was like, wow. Nobody has faith in you. You have this massive sickness that they just are thinking it's a curse. Being home was very difficult because my mom really didn't believe that I should be in a house. She's like, you're a girl and you don't have anything and you know what you're best for. Prostitution is the only thing for you. And I was like, oh, wow. I think my faith carried me through a lot, mentally, emotionally, physically. So eventually, Mom Nazizwe Routledge, the founder of Embrace Dignity, when she asked me, like, what do you want to do?
She said, I want to document my story. I want to tell people what happened to me as a young girl. And I also hope my story will inspire others so that other girls don't get into the same situation that I experienced. Embrace Dignity was created in 2010. I was asked to do a project of what South Africa's laws on prostitution were. So when we looked around, we found that there wasn't support for exit. So we advocate for a law called the Equality Model Law. And this law actually recognizes prostitution as violence against women. It recognizes prostitution as the destination for trafficking. Grizelda is a remarkable woman. She's very strong. She's very fragile at the same time. So the support that we gave her was to provide somebody who she could tell the story to. This person is a writer.
Writing the book is put all the anger, the pain, what I can't say, face to face to people. And I think they read the book. I think the girl read the book. Who didn't? And I wrote it for them anyway. To say I'm still alive, you little tweet. Eventually when the book was done, somebody said, what are you gonna call it? And I said, Exit. And I said, why Exit? I said, it's a door. It's a damn door you walk out of a freaking brothel. That's what it is. Doing as much as you can to change your life, you end up changing other people's life. And the first platform I received to tell my story was literally in a room of government officials that I've slept with or that have come to buy my body. So I remember the one guy gave me his card and we were in Parliament and we were discussing the law. And after that, like, call me. Then I got to meet the Ackermans. Then I remember Suzanne Ackermans putting me back into school, grade 12. And for me, that time was the peak of my book. But when you are a testimony of hope, it's really not about the coins sometimes. It's about the purpose. It's about the change. And then I got the opportunity to go and speak at the United Nations for global human trafficking, yeah. But I was so, not nervous, but I think being in a room with a lot of men is still a thing for me. And that United Nations platform was like just men looking at you. So in my mind, I started just seeing images of seamen, their sweats. I didn't say a thing. I just wet myself and all I could cry and sing and say, can y'all just please implement the things? Because I'm not the first survivor. Yes, I started NPO Survivor Exit Foundation. At this point, we are Survivor Exit Foundation on a piece of paper more than anything because we went through COVID. We lost everything. I don't get any particular funding or support from anybody. But Survivor Exit Foundation works with girls in my community. And I think my presence is just trying to really force change in my community by being myself and not being ashamed of who I was and who I am. Because discrimination and stigma is one thing that we get in our communities.
The feeling I'm feeling now is, it's a feeling of healing, and then it's also a feeling of, like what people have been asking me for the past, 5 years since I wrote the book. What would you do if you see her? Like, I'll choke her.
I haven't found the door. I haven't found the exit yet because if I have, it will be full healing if I had to sit with her in a room and hear her say sorry. I haven't found anybody coming to me that has heard my story saying sorry. I didn't know. So that would be my exit. That will help. And I still go home and cry. So there's still no exit.